My dear students, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear students, আমার কথা শোনা যাচ্ছে?
জি স্যার, শোনা যাচ্ছে।
স্ক্রিন দেখা যাচ্ছে?
জি স্যার, দেখা যাচ্ছে।
আচ্ছা। আহ, এই মুহূর্তে আমার পার্টিসিপেন্টস ইনক্লুডিং মে 13, আমরা একটু ওয়েট করি, কি বলো?
জি স্যার।
একটু ওয়েট করি, তারপরে আমরা শুরু করবো ইনশাআল্লাহ। My dear students, today I would like to discuss new topic, activity-based management. Under activity-based management, we will discuss activity-based costing and activity-based management. We have studied activity-based costing in 7th semester in management accounting. I'll also discuss this topic. Here we'll review 7 semesters topic and we'll discuss advanced level. Uh, before defining activity-based management and activity-based costing, first we need to explain in details what is activity. At first, we need to understand a clear concept of activity. Activity-based costing and activity-based management, we find in different books this topic. We find this topic in different books. For example, managerial accounting, Garrison, Norin and Brewer, Horengren's Cost Accounting, 16th edition. Garrison, Norin and Brewer, Appendix Chapter 2 and Chapter 7. Horengren's Cost Accounting, Chapter 5. Strategic Management Accounting, Strategic Management Accounting, Dr. Johirul Haq, Chapter 4, Management Accounting, Hansen and Moen. Now, activity. Cost accounting, Ray-Ban. Cost accounting, Ray-Ban. So we find there are a number of books in which we find this topic. Now, activity. This is from Ray-Ban. An activity is a process or procedures that causes work. Examples are moving parts, performing engineering change orders, setting up machines for a production run, and establishing vendor relations through contacting vendors and setting requirements for purchases. Also included receiving, disbursing, reorganizing the production flow, redesigning a product, and taking a customer order. Another definition, an activity is action. An activity is action taken or work performed by equipment or people for other people. This is from Hansen and Moen. An activity is action taken or work performed by equipment or people for other people. Another definition from Horangen's cost accounting, an activity is an event, task, or unit of work with a specified purpose. For example, this definition is a very good definition. Designing products. To design designing products. This is an activity. Setting up machines. To set up machines. Setting up machines. Operating machines. And distributing products. More informally, activities are verbs. These are all verbs. They are things that a farm does. So this definition, very good definition. Designing products, setting up machines, operating machines, and distributing products. More informally, activities are verbs. They are things that a farm does. What a farm do, or what a farm does. These are activities. An activity is an event that causes the consumption of overhead resources in an organization. Uh, an activity is an event that causes the consumption of overhead resources in an organization. Now, types of activity. Types of activity. For the purpose of cost reduction, before discussing types, I would like to discuss more about activities. Every activity has inputs and outputs. Every activity has inputs and outputs. Activity inputs are the resources consumed by the activity in producing its output. Activity output is the result or product of an activity. For example, if the activity is writing a computer program, the inputs would be such things as a programmer, a computer, a printer, computer paper, and disks. The output would be a computer program. An activity output measures an activity output measure is the number of times the activity is performed. An activity output measure. An activity output measure is the number of times the activity is performed. It is the quantifiable measure of the output. For example, the number of programs is a possible output measure for writing programs. The output measure effectively is a measure of the demands placed on an activity and is what we have been calling an activity driver. Activity driver or cost driver. We'll discuss cost driver later. Now, types of activities. For the purpose of cost reduction, write down. For the purpose of cost reduction, we classify activity into two categories: value-added activity and non-value-added activity. This is for the purpose of cost reduction. Management accounting, Hansen and Moen, page number 388, 389, 388, 389. Value-added activities and non-value-added activities. Now, value-added activities. Those activities necessary to remain in business are called value-added activities. Value-added activities, those activities necessary to remain in business are called value-added activities. Some activities, required activities, are necessary to comply with legal mandates. Some activities are necessary to comply with legal mandates. That means legal requirements. Activities needed to comply with the reporting requirements of the SEC, that means Securities and Exchange Commission, and filing requirements of the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, are examples. These activities are value added by mandate. The remaining activities in the firm are discretionary. A discretionary activity is classified as value added provided it simultaneously satisfies three conditions. The activity produces a change of state. The change of state was not achievable by preceding activities. And three, the activity enables other activities to be performed. Now, non-value-added activities. All activities other than those are absolutely to remain in business and therefore considered unnecessary are referred to as non-value-added activities. A non-value-added activity can be identified by its failure to satisfy any one of the three previous defining conditions. Examples of non-value-added activities generally scheduling, moving, waiting, inspecting, storing. Scheduling, an activity that uses time and resources to determine when different products have access to processes. Moving, an activity that uses time and resources to move materials, work in process, and finished goods from one department to another. Waiting, an activity in which materials or work in process use time and resources by waiting on the next process. Inspecting, an activity in which time and resources are spent ensuring that the product meets specifications. Storing, an activity that uses time and resources while a good or material is held in inventory. This is all about activity for the purpose of cost reduction. Why cost reduction? If we eliminate these activities, cost can be reduced, product cost can be reduced. So this type of activity is known as either value-added activities or non-value-added activities. If we can eliminate non-value-added activities, we can reduce cost. Classification activities for the assignment of cost. For the assignment of cost. There are generally two types of costing. Traditional costing or functional costing and activity-based costing or refined costing. In costing, we determine product cost. We determine product cost. Product cost includes product cost or manufacturing cost, include direct materials, direct labor, and manufacturing overhead. The sum of these three costs equal product cost or manufacturing cost. In traditional costing and activity-based costing, we can usually trace or identify the direct materials and direct labor. But what will be about manufacturing overhead? We need to estimate these overhead and we assign this manufacturing overhead to product to determine product cost. In traditional costing, we assign manufacturing overhead to product on the basis of predetermined overhead rate. There are two categories of predetermined overhead rate. One is planned wide predetermined overhead rate. We assign or we absorb manufacturing overhead to product. In cost accounting, you have studied methods of absorption of manufacturing overhead. There are as many as 6 methods we have found. There are of the 6 direct labor cost, percentage direct labor cost method, direct labor hours method, machine hours method, or units of production method. Plant wide freedom rate, that is single rate. Another is multiple predetermined overhead rate. That means for different departments, different predetermined overhead rate. We usually use planned wide predetermined overhead rate. That means single overhead rate. In activity-based costing, activities for the purpose of assigning manufacturing overhead to product, for assigning manufacturing overhead to product, we can classify activities into 4 categories. Here 5 categories. According to Cooper, 4 categories or 4 types: unit level activities, base level activities, product level activities, facility level activities. This is according to Cooper. Facility level activities or organization sustaining activities. According to Garrison, Norrin, and Brewer, we find 5 types of activities. This is according to Garrison, Norrin, and Brewer. Unit level activities, base level activities, product level activities, customer level activities, facility level activities. We are reviewing this. Unit level activities relating to the number of units produced. Unit level activities relating to the number of units produced. Related expenses include direct labor, direct materials, energy cost, and expenses. Base level activities such as setting up a machine or processing a purchase order, production scheduling, materials handling, movement and inspection. Product level activities are supporting activities for different products in the product line. For example, engineering activities. Now, product line. A product line is a group of similar products. Product level activities, expenses include in these activities engineering cost, design, development, test, etc. Facility level activities or facility sustaining activities relate to administration, plant management, accounting services, and lighting and heating of the factory that cannot be traced to individual products or services, but support the organization as a whole. Okay. Now, cost object. Cost object. We need to know the concept of cost object. A cost object is a segment or an entity for which specific cost information is desired. This segment or entity may include a contract, any customer, a unit of service, a unit of production, a project, any activity, a subdivision, department. For a cost object, a separate and independent measurement is required. Costing systems are designed to calculate the cost of a cost object. Cost object may be direct cost, indirect cost. Cost related to the particular cost object that can be traced to that object is an economically feasible way. Indirect cost, cost related to the particular cost object that cannot be traced to that object in an economically feasible way. Another terms we need to know cost pools. Cost pools. Cost pools. Cost pool. Cost pools or cost centers are activity accounts. Cost pools or cost centers are activity accounts set up to collect the cost created by each activity. Created by each activity. A cost pool is a grouping of individual indirect cost items. A cost pool is a grouping of indirect cost items. Cost pools are often organized in conjunction with cost allocation basis. A cost pool is a bucket in which costs are accumulated. Earlier, we mentioned this activity account. So a cost pool is a bucket in which costs are accumulated that relate to a single activity. So for a single activity, a cost pool is created. A cost pool measure in the ABC system. That means activity-based costing system. Cost pool. In the pool, in the transport pool, we keep different types of vehicles in the transport pool. In cost pool, we accumulate cost information for each individual activity. Another term, cost driver. Cost drive. Cost drive. Cost driver. Cost driver or activity measures. Cost driver or activity measure. Cost driver or activity measures. The activities that are undertaken to produce goods or services and that consequently drive the cost that costing system records. A cost driver is an activity. A cost driver is an activity that generate cost. That generate cost. The activity driver, the activity that drives the cost is called cost driver. Suppose cost driver designing a product, designing a product, designing a product. This is a cost driver. Here activity, design the product. Activity, designing the product. The activity that drives the cost is called cost drive. Now we can define activity based management. Activity based management. Definition of activity based management. Activity based management is a system wide integrated approach that focuses management attention on activities with the objective of improving customer value. A customer, that means customer satisfaction, and the profit achieved by providing this value. Activities management is system-wide integrated approach that focuses management attention on activities with the objective of improving customer value and the profit achieved by providing this value. It includes driver analysis, that means cost driver analysis, activity analysis, performance evaluation, and draws on activity-based costing as a major source of information. That means activity-based. Another definition, activity-based management is a method of management decision-making. ABM, that means activity-based management. Activity-based management. Activity পর একটা hyphen আছে, then based management. Activity-based management is a method of management decision-making that uses activity-based costing information. Activity-based management is a method of management decision-making that uses activity-based costing information to improve customer satisfaction and profitability. In the earlier definition, it was mentioned to improve customers' value, and the profit. Here mentioned customer satisfaction and the profitability. So both the definition almost same. Understand? Another definition. Activity-based management is the systematic documentation of the major activities in an organization. The documentation is designed, to uncover what causes this activity to begin, right? The cost of the activity, how much time it takes, and how well it is performed. Activity and management allows organization to redesign work and improve the cost, quality, and time for performing activities. These are about activity-based management. Now, activity-based costing. Activity-based costing. That means costing based on activity. Costing means determining cost. Costing means determining cost of product. So activity-based costing is an accounting method that identifies the activities that a firm performs and then assigns indirect cost to cost objects. Indirect to cost objects. Earlier we defined cost objects. Cost objects may be product, customer, process, department, etc. Cost objects. A cost object is for what cost information is desired. Activity-based costing directs managers' attention to the activities that cause an organization to have a certain set of financial, human, and physical resources in place. ABC stresses a more accurate assignment of cost. ABC yields much information about activities and the resources required to perform these activities. ABC assumes, that means activity-based costing assumes that activities consume resources. Activities consume resources. Resources means inputs. And product requires activities. ABC is a costing method that is designed to provide manager with cost information for strategic and other decisions. Now more about activity-based costing. More about activity-based costing from Hansen and Moen, page number 122. Page number 122, Hansen and Moen. An activity-based costing system first traces cost to activities, then to products. This costing system first traces cost to activities, then to products. The underlying assumption is that activities consume resources and that products in turn consume activities. আমরা প্র্যাকটিক্যাল দিকে চলে যাচ্ছি। The underlying assumption is that activities consume resources and that products in turn consume activities. Thus, activity-based costing is also a two-stage process. Two-stage process. An ABC costing system, however, emphasizes direct tracing, driver tracing, while comparing ABC and traditional costing. A traditional costing or conventional costing or traditional absorption costing. You have determined product cost under variable costing and absorption costing. A absorption costing, that means traditional absorption costing or traditional costing. Now, comparison between activities costing or traditional costing. Or we can at first say comparing traditional costing and activity-based cost. Number one, traditional costing is designed to provide data for external financial reports. Traditional costing is designed to provide data. To provide data, that means to provide information. We can use data and information interchangeably. But there is a difference between data and information. Earlier we discussed in detail about data and information. But I am saying at this moment, we can use either data or information. Traditional costing is designed to provide data, or you can say to provide information for external financial reports. In contrast, or we can say on the other hand, ABC, that means activity-based costing, is designed to provide data or information for internal decision making. ABC is designed to provide data or information for internal decision making. So this is internal decision making tool. Number two, in traditional costing, manufacturing costs are assigned to products, and non-manufacturing costs are not assigned to products. In traditional costing, manufacturing costs are assigned to products and non-manufacturing costs. Non-manufacturing cost, that means selling and administrative cost. Selling and are not assigned to products. Conversely, in ABC, direct manufacturing costs are included in product cost, and indirect manufacturing costs are not included in product cost. But direct non-manufacturing cost, that means direct selling and administrative cost. Direct non-manufacturing costs are also included in product cost. Number three, traditional costing is simple and less accurate, while ABC is more complex and more accurate. Traditional costing is simple and less accurate, while ABC is more complex and more accurate. Traditional costing tends to focus on volume-related drivers. Volume-related drivers, such as units produced, labor hours, or machine hours. While ABC uses a variety of drivers. By understanding the causal relationships, that means cause and effect relationships. Another point we can say, traditional costing is less expensive, while ABC, that means activity costing system, is more expense than traditional costing. In this way, we can compare traditional costing or normal costing and activity-based costing and refined costing. Evaluating ABC, that means evaluating activity-based costing. In evaluation, we find strengths and weaknesses of ABC costing, of ABC system, activity-based costing system or activity-based costing. In evaluating ABC, we will discuss the strengths of ABC or advantages of ABC or benefits of ABC and weaknesses of ABC, disadvantages of ABC or demerits of ABC. This topic in details, cost accounting, Rayburn, cost accounting, Rayburn, page number, note down, cost accounting, Rayburn, page number 131, 132, and some part of 133. Strengths of ABC. You will make a note with the help of Rayburn and the information given in this sheet. Strengths of ABC. From Rayburn. Traditional cost systems fail to recognize that non-volume related cost, non-volume related cost non-volume related cost. Suppose design cost, setup cost, inspection cost. These are non-volume related cost. Traditional cost systems fail to recognize that non-volume related costs vary with such transactions as the number of inspections performed, the number of setups, and the quantity of scheduling. ABC does overcome distortions inherent in traditional cost information based on step-down allocations using only volume-driven drivers. ABC provides a more accurate cost per unit. That ABC provides a more accurate information about cost per unit. As a result, pricing, sales strategy, performance management, and decision making could be improved. should এর পরিবর্তে তোমরা could শব্দটা লিখিও, ওটা সুন্দর হচ্ছে। Decision making would be improved. Understand? Would be improved. So it provides that ABC. ABC provides much better insight into what drives overhead cost. Number 3, ABC recognizes that overhead costs are not all related to production and sales volume. ABC can be applied to derive realistic cost in a complex business environment. ABC can be applied to all overhead costs, not just production overheads. ABC can be applied to all overhead costs, not just production overheads. Production that means manufacturing overheads. 6. ABC recognizes the causal relationships of cost drivers to activities. A cost driver, that means activity cost drivers. Activity cost drivers. Relationship between activity cost drivers and activities. ABC ইনফরমেশন, দেখো এখানে ইনফরমেশন ইউজ করা হয়েছে, কাজে আমরা ওই ডাটার পরে ইনফরমেশন বলতে পারি, কোনো অসুবিধা নেই। ডাটা না বলে ইনফরমেশন বলে আরো সুন্দর। ABC information encourages companies to evaluate activities to see which, এখানে একটা ওয়ার্ড বাদ পড়ে গেছে, to which are non-valued and can be eliminated. That means valued activities, non-valued activities. ABC information encourages companies to evaluate activities which are non-valued and can be eliminated. ABC can be just as easily in service costing as in product costing. ABC can be used just as easily in service costing as in product costing. And this is about a sample answer of strengths of ABC. You can make a note for yourself with the help of this and other books, relevant other books. Now, weaknesses of ABC. Weaknesses or disadvantage? ABC fails to encourage managers to think about changing work processes, to make business more competitive. বোঝা না গেলে তোমরা লিখে ফেলতে পারো, খাতায় লিখে ফেলতে পারো। ABC fails to encourage managers to think about changing work processes to make business more competitive. Number 2, ABC does not specifically conform to GAP, GAAP, generally accepted accounting principles. ABC does not specifically conform to GAP. ABC may render misconceptions about lowering sales order handling cost by eliminating small orders that generate lower margin. তারপর আরেকটু অ্যাড করলে ভালো হয়। If there are competing companies willing to meet their needs, long run profits may suffer by eliminating small orders. This is from the main book, textbook, Reban. ABC will be of limited benefit if the overhead costs are primarily volume related, or if the overhead is a small proportion of the overall cost. It is impossible to allocate all overhead costs to specific activities. The choice of both activities and cost drivers might be inappropriate. Thus, choice of both activities and cost drivers, that means activity cost drivers, might be inappropriate. This is about strengths and weaknesses of ABC, that means activity based costing. Strategic planning. From strategic planning. Planning, that means making plan. Strategic planning. Reban, page number 133. Strategic planning. To obtain optimum use from activity-based management, managers should prepare strategic plan. Strategic plan means long-term plan. One is short-term plan, another is long-term plan. Now, strategic planning, meaning of strategic planning. Strategic planning means establishing the organization's long-range objectives and the means to achieve them. Strategic planning means establishing the organization's long-range objectives and the means to achieve them. In other words, strategic planning is the process of deciding on the objectives of the organization. Strategic planning is the process of deciding on the objectives of the organization, on changes in these objectives, on the resources used to attain these objectives, and on the policies that are to govern the acquisition, use, and disposition of these resources, and on the policies that are to govern the acquisition, use, and disposition of these resources. This definition is taken from Strategic Management Accounting, Strategic Management Accounting, Dr. Joyal Howe. Under strategic planning, we discuss strategic cost analysis, strategic planning includes strategic cost analysis. Now, what is strategic cost analysis? Strategic cost analysis uses cost data. Strategic cost analysis uses cost data in developing superior strategies. In developing strategies by looking at the likely positioning of a new product in the marketplace and its potential penetration. A penetration that means entrance, provish. Strategic cost analysis uses cost data in developing superior strategies by looking at the likely positioning of a new product. Positioning of a new product in the marketplace and its potential penetration. Strategic cost analysis involves three themes: value chain analysis, cost driver analysis, and competitive advantage analysis. Strategic cost analysis involves three themes: value chain analysis, cost driven analysis, and competitive advantage analysis. Value chain analysis. At first, value chain. Value chain. Now, value chain. Then value chain analysis. Value chain is the sequence of business functions or activities. Value chain is the sequence of business functions or activities in which customer usefulness is added to products or services. In other words, value chain is the set of business functions or activities. The set of value chain is the set of business functions or activities that add value to the products or services of an organization. The value chain is the set of business functions or activities that add value to the products or services of an organization. We know the business functions or activities are research and development. Research and development is the sequence of business function. So value chain starts from research and development. This chain includes 6 parts or components. At first, research and development, then product and process design, then production, marketing, distribution, customer service. Research and development, product and process design, production or manufacturing, marketing, distribution, customer service. Customer service. This is the sequence. Research and development. This functional activities, the generation of and experimentation with ideas related to new products, services, and processes. Design of products, services, or processes, the detailed design and engineering of products, services, or processes. Production or manufacturing, the coordination and assembly of resources to produce a product or deliver a service. Marketing, the manner by which individuals or groups learn about the value and features of products or services, for example, advertising or selling activities. Distribution, the mechanism by which a company delivers products or services to the customer. Customer service, the support activity provided to the customer. That means after sales service. Value chain analysis is a long run approach which extends beyond the company's boundaries. The company is only one part of the overall chain of value creating activities. The purpose of value chain analysis is to determine where managers can lower cost from design to distribution in the company segment of the chain. Value chain analysis is a long-run approach which extends beyond the company's boundaries. The company is only one part of the overall chain of the value creating activities. At the center of the value chain, customer focus. At the center of the value chain, we find customer focus. Now, cost driver analysis. Cost driver analysis. Cost drivers are the factors that cause activities to occur. They capture the demand placed on an activity by product or service. Examples of cost drivers: direct labor, setting up equipment, setting up equipment, handling and storage. Setting up equipment, handling and storage, component uh, handling and storage, components, machine hours, and returns. Cost driven analysis identifies and assesses the factors involved in the costing of goods and services and is part of ABC. Cost driven analysis compares the different cost drivers and associated costs in attempt to reduce cost and increase efficiency, and helps management trace the cost of certain activities to cost objects. Competitive advantage analysis. A company obtains competitive advantage if its product or distribution has different characteristics than its competitors. Competitive advantage analysis include product design, process design, research and development, and relationships with suppliers. Um, Activities costing, comparing ABC and traditional costing, evaluating ABC strategic planning. Steps for implementing activity-based costing. Steps for implementing activity-based costing. There are 5 steps or 5 stages for implementing activity-based costing. Step number one, step one, define activities, activity cost pools, and activity measures. Activity measures, that means cost drive. Assign overhead cost to activity cost pools. Define step 2, assign overhead to activity cost pools. Calculate activity rates. Assign overhead cost to cost objects using the activity rates and activity measures. Prepare management reports. Define activities, activity cost pools, and activity measures. Second, assign overhead cost to activity cost pools. Calculate activity rates. Assign overhead cost to cost objects using activity rates and activity measures. Prepare management reports. Now, in order to show the steps or stages, we can discuss a practical problem. Practical. Uh, Review problem, activity-based costing, Garrison, Norin and Brewer. আমরা রিভিউ করছি। Ferris Corporation makes a single product, a fire-resistant commercial filing cabinet that it sells to office furniture distributor. The company has a simple ABC system that it uses for internal decision making. The company has 2 overhead departments whose costs are as follows. Manufacturing overhead 500,000, selling and administrative overhead 300,000. Earlier we mentioned in ABC, product cost include direct manufacturing overhead and product cost include direct non-manufacturing overhead or non-manufacturing cost. Here we find manufacturing overhead and selling overhead. This is direct non-manufacturing overhead. Total overhead cost 8,000. Total overhead cost 8,000. The company's AV system has the following activity cost pools and activity measures. Activity measures. The company has the following activity cost pools and activity measures. Activity cost pools, where cost of activity accumulated, or earlier mentioned activity cost pool, or cost centers, or activity accounts, assembling a unit, processing orders, supporting customers, other activity measures for assembling units, number of units, processing orders, number of orders, supporting customers, number of customers, other not applicable. That means for this is sustaining facility sustaining activities. This has no activity measure. That means there is no measurable unit for this. Cost assigned to the other activity cost pool have no activity measure. They consist of organization sustaining cost and unused capacity cost, neither of which are assigned to orders, customers, or product. Ferris Corporation distribute the cost of manufacturing overhead and selling and distribution overhead to activity cost pool based on employee interviews, the results of which are reported below. The result of which are reported below. Distribution resources consumption across activity cost pools. Activity consume resources. Resources, that means overhead resources. Yes, overhead resources are manufacturing overhead and selling and administrative overhead. Here, basis of distribution. This is gained, this is obtained from interview of the employees. Assembling, manufacturing order, assembling units 50%, processing order 35%, supporting customers 5%, other 10%, total 100%. We'll apply only this cost. That means assembly unit related cost, processing order related cost, supporting customer related cost. Activity, total activity units assembly 1000, processing 250, supporting customer 100 customers. Perform the first stage allocation. There are two stage allocation, first stage allocation, second stage allocation. First stage allocation, that means at first we allocate these costs. That means 500,000 and 300,000 among activities. This is first stage allocation based on this percentage. First stage allocation. Activity cost pools. Assembling units, this is a pool. Processing order, this is another pool. Supporting customer, this is another. Others, total. Manufacturing overhead 500,000, 150%, so 250,000, 35%, 175,000, 5%, 25,000, and 10%, 50,000. In this way, we can distribute this cost of activities, and in this way, selling and distribution, selling and overhead. Assembling unit 10%, 300,000, 10%, 30,000. In this way, other figures. Total cost, assembling units, that means assembly unit total cost 20,000, processing order 310,000, supporting customers 100,000. So first is allocation. In the second stage, we need to find out activity rate. Activity rate for activity cost pools. Activity cost pools, assembling units, processing orders, supporting customers. Total cost from record 1. Total activity given in the question. This is total activity performed. Number of activity performed. Total activity. Or we can say number of activity performed. If we divide total activity cost by total number of activity, then we find activity rate. Record 3. Office Mart is one of various corporations' customers. We assign cost to either product or customer. Here cost object customers. Office Mart is one of the Ferris Corporation's customers. Last year, Office Mart ordered filing cabinet 4 different times. Orders, so number of orders 4 for this customer. Office Mart ordered filing cabinet 4 different times. So number of orders 4. Office Mart ordered a total of 80 filing cabinets. Unit ordered. Number of file cabinet orders. 80. Construct a table showing the overhead cost attributable to Office Mart. Attributable to, that means assignable. Attributable, that means assignable to Office Mart. Overhead cost. The overhead cost attributable or assignable to Office Mart would become as follows. Activity rate. A number of activity performed for this customer. Assembly units, 80 units assembled. Order, 4 orders. Activity rate, 280 per assembling units. From record 2, we find activity rate. 4 orders are supporting customers. We support Office Mart, a single customer. So here activity 80 units assembled, 4 orders processed, 1 customer supported. ABC cost, that means activity based costing, overhead cost. ABC cost, that means activity based costing, overhead cost. Overhead cost, we'll add these 3 figures. Then Here we will make total. Last report, performance report. Here, the selling price of a filing cabinet is $595. The cost of direct materials is $180 for filing cabinet. Direct labor is $50 for filing cabinet. What is the customer margin of Office Mart? One is product margin, another is customer margin. Product margin, sales revenue from a particular product and cost for particular product, then product margin. Now customer margin, revenue from a customer and cost for a customer. Customer margin, that means income statement from a customer. So the customer margin, sales, that means revenue from a customer, 595 into 80, 47,600. Cost, direct materials, direct labor, and overheads. আমরা এখানে যদি টোটাল করে ফেলি, তো আমরা এখানে টোটাল করে ফেলবো, তাহলে এখানে আর আমাদের আলাদা দেখানোর কোনো প্রয়োজন হবে না। This is overhead related to assembling units, overheads relating to processing orders, overheads relating to supporting customers. Cost, revenue from a customer, cost for a customer. This is revenue from customer, this figure, cost from a customer, cost for a customer, this figure, customer margin, 840. This problem is an example of different stages of implementing ABS. Understand? এই অঙ্ক তোমরা করেছিলে না 7th সেমিস্টারে?
জি স্যার।
করেছিলে না?
জি স্যার।
হ্যাঁ?
জি স্যার, করেছিলাম।
হ্যাঁ, করেছিলাম। আজকে কি হলো, এটা রিভিউ হলো। হ্যাঁ, আমাদের আরো কিছু আমরা আলোচনা করব। সেখানে আমাদের আলোচনা থাকবে যে determining product cost using traditional costing system, the traditional absorption costing system, and using activity based costing. সে ম্যাথগুলা এখানে আছে। Appendix 2, exercise problems and case. This is from a 16th edition, but I am following 15th edition. In 15th edition, you will find this appendix 3. That means Chapter 3. Chapter 3, you will find Appendix 3A, determining unit product cost using traditional costing system and activity-based costing system. One solved problem in the textbook, other unsolved problems, but a solution given from solution manual. রেবারনে কিছু রেবারনে প্রবলেম আছে প্লাস আরো বিভিন্ন জায়গায় প্রবলেম আছে unit product cost under using traditional costing, unit product cost under unit product cost using traditional costing and unit product cost using activities costing. In the next class, we'll discuss about math. Then we'll discuss activity-based costing systems for marketing cost. Marketing cost. Activity-based costing systems for marketing cost. This is from Ray Barn. Comparing ABC and traditional costing. এখানে প্র্যাকটিক্যাল এক্সাম্পল দিয়ে কম্পেয়ার করেছে, কিন্তু আমাদের প্র্যাকটিক্যাল এক্সাম্পল দিয়ে কম্পেয়ার আমরা আলোচনা করবো কিভাবে বলো, থিওরিটিক্যাল, নট ইউজিং প্র্যাকটিক্যাল প্রবলেম। ইন দ্য বুক কম্পেয়ারটা করা হয়েছে কি দিয়ে, প্র্যাকটিক্যাল প্রবলেমের সাহায্যে। আমরা কি বলেছিলাম এবিসি ইজ এ টু স্টেজ অ্যালোকেশন প্রসেস। Both traditional activity costing use a two-stage allocation process. We express the volume for the capacity level selected, theoretical, practical, normal, or expected actual capacity. এই এখানে একটা ম্যাথ আছে। কিসের ম্যাথ? এই যে এখানে ম্যাথটা হলো যে determining unit product cost using traditional costing system and using activity based costing system. আমরা নেক্সট ক্লাসে এই ম্যাথটা আলোচনা করবো ইনশাআল্লাহ। আরো আলোচনা থাকবে। The unit cost for a three product using ABC. Using traditional costing, unit product cost. Product X, product Z. Today, I would like to finish my lecture here. Assalamu alaikum. Allah Hafiz.
আসসালামু
Thank you
আলাইকুম স্যার।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
for attending my class and meeting for all. Again, Assalamu alaikum.